good morning, good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Chats Unfiltered. What does your cup say, Val?
My cup is double-sided over here. Go
Go
team.
team.
I
Okay.
love your cup. Let me see that again.
Oh, honey, this is, I'd rather be shopping.
Oh my goodness. I love that cup.
I know.
Just like this.
Uh-huh. Sitting at her desk. I'd rather be shopping, honey, at work. I know that's right. Hey,
I love
y'all,
it.
how you doing? Welcome to Coffee Chats Unfiltered. I am Cynthia Merritt, and I am here to do some coffee chatting, honey, brewed in
Mhm.
wisdom and experience. And so
Mhm.
today we're going to be talking about some great things, and let me turn it over to my co-host to introduce herself.
Hey, hey, hey. I am Valerie. How is your day? I just thought of that. Anyway, I am here with Cynthia to do the same thing. We are here for you. We have a great community. We're inviting you guys in. And just as I sit here, I have this over here. Look ahead and not back.
Okay,
No matter
okay.
what you do in life, look ahead and not back. So that means everything that we've been through, look at it as a learning experience. Take what we're giving you as a learning experience. We're taking what you're giving us as a learning experience, and we're gonna keep on moving.
You know what, Val? That is a perfect segue for what we're talking about. And
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, at the end of
Mhm.
our episode, I want you to hold that back up again because it's going to
Okay.
tie everything in together. So
Really
today,
will.
y'all, we are midway through Black History Month.
Mhm.
So we're going to talk about some of our Black history leaders
Yeah.
that made a difference for us. And so
Mhm.
as we're now in mid-February, we want to take some time today and just acknowledge a few of our beloved
Yes.
leaders and their priceless contributions that they
Mhm.
have made for us and given
Mhm.
to us.
Mhm.
So I guess I should say they're priceless. What is it with the S? Sacrifices.
Sacrifices.
Sacrifices that they made for us and the
Mhm.
contributions
Mhm.
that they gave to. Oh, there we go, rhyming, honey. Made for us and they gave to us. Yes, this is. So, of course, we're going to start with Dr. Martin Luther King. And let me just stand up and show my shirt. I have on my Martin
Please.
Luther King shirt, y'all.
I like that.
I love it. And what it says is that we must learn to live together as brothers. Otherwise, we will perish together
Mm, mm,
as
mm,
fools. So
mm.
either brotherhood or foolhood. What's your choice?
Gotta choose brotherhood.
Okay, exactly, exactly. So Dr. Martin Luther King, so he was a Baptist minister, and we know that from Ebenezer Baptist Church. That was his father's church.
Mhm.
And he was a civil rights leader, and he led the nonviolent movement, and that ended segregation in the United States. So what he did was he organized the historic protests, and that was including the Great Montgomery bus boycott with
Mhm.
our beloved Rosa Parks. When she was tired that day and said, I'm not giving up my seat. I
My
am
seat.
tired from
Mm-mm.
working and I'm not giving it up. And so, and he also led the March on Washington. So he delivered that iconic I Have a Dream speech,
Yes,
and
yes.
his leadership helped pass what they're trying to dismantle now, the
Mhm.
Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act
Ah,
of 1965. Trying to mess it up, y'all. So this is current government. This current
mhm,
government now is trying to get rid of that. So we really have
mhm.
to pay attention to everything that's going on.
That's true, Cynthia. And you know what? I can still hear that. I can listen to that speech now and I get chills.
Absolutely.
And I look at the fact that the Voting Act rights was in 1965, not very long ago, not
Mm-hmm.
very long ago at all. So it's like, man, we are still going through and we are still singing, we shall overcome. and we will.
Yeah,
We just gotta be steadfast and just keep moving, you know?
right. And
Um,
Val, you and I, from the time we turned 18 and were
mhm,
able to vote,
mhm.
we've known the ability to vote. So,
Exactly.
and so this is why this is just so terrible for us to face.
That's true. It really is.
Mhm.
Now, I want to talk about the lovely Harriet Tubman.
Mm.
Harriet Tubman was born into slavery, which we all know that. And she escaped and she risked her life repeatedly to return south and guide enslaved people to freedom through the Underground Railroad. And just to say this really quickly, we watched that the Harriet Tubman movie, and my grandson was like in he just couldn't believe what was going on.
Wow.
And even though he's heard tidbits of it, but he was so fascinated by the movie. So I think that all these individuals, these movies should be continuously showing to our young adults, our young children, so they can know and remember.
Mm.
All right. So now also with Harriet, she later served as a nurse, a
Mm.
scout, and a spy for the Union Army during the Civil War and remained a lifelong advocate for freedom and equality. Y'all, Harriet wore many hats: a nurse,
Absolutely.
a spy, a scout. I mean, she was amazing. Amazing. She is a shero.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And
A
the
shero.
bravery for them back then, because what was waiting for them when they saw people constantly being lynched and just
Mhm.
beaten and things.
Yeah.
But Malcolm X is
Oh,
one that I want to talk about too.
mm-hmm.
He was a powerful activist and a speaker, and
Mm-hmm.
he challenged that systematic racism and he promoted Black pride,
Mm-hmm.
so much Black pride, self
Mm-hmm.
defense, and self reflection and respect. So his evolution from the separatist ideology, if I can get that out,
Mm-hmm.
to the
Mm-hmm.
broader human rights vision made him one of the most influential voices in American history. And you know what, Val?
Wow.
I didn't really even learn a whole lot about Malcolm X
Same
until I
here.
was in my early 40s. That's a long time to go through
A
life
long
and
time.
not even really knowing much about him.
That's a long time. But I can agree. Same here. I'm not too sure why I didn't. Um, and I think about that sometimes too. There's a lot of things that I think about, a lot of the people that I did not know about or learn of until I was in my late 30s, 40s, you know.
But you know what? And I'm going to say this about to your point about why, because
Mhm.
for me, and this is all about our mindset, and this is how we need to educate ourselves and get out there and
Mhm.
get all the information. Because
Mhm.
I always thought, just from hearing people talk about him, I
Uh-huh.
always thought Dr. Martin Luther King was the way, and Malcolm X was the opposition. And I
Uh,
didn't even dive
yeah.
into or try to delve into his history and what he was about because
Yeah.
I thought he
Yeah.
was like not what I should be listening to. Like he was
Right.
some
The
some
good and the
some
bad.
negative, yeah,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
pro violence or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why it's so important for us to be informed about these things. That's why we're doing this today.
Exactly. And I hope that it's very educational. I hope that is
Absolutely. I mean,
falls some.
even just bringing someone's awareness.
Yes, yes, yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. Ooh,
yeah,
please
maybe.
awareness.
Yes, I know exactly. Just to make them dive into it more. But that was an extremely necessary part of my
Mhm,
knowledge to
mhm.
carry with me once I did start learning about him. I said, "Oh my gosh, I need to know more about him,"
Yeah,
and I did.
yeah, yeah, I can see that, and, I kinda wish that and then again, it may be happening anyway. I was kinda wishing that last week we should have made would have made the announcement so that maybe our attendees would have their children around to listen.
Mm.
Yes, and I didn't think about that, and it may be happening. It may be happening. Hopefully it is.
Hopefully it'll reach someone and they'll say, "Oh," because they can get the replay, honey. And
Yes, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's true. That's right, and you
yeah,
can
and
like,
then they say,
subscribe,
"Come,
and share.
kids, come listen to this." Yeah, yeah.
So Cynthia mentioned Rosa Parks earlier. So Rosa Parks, she was a lifelong activist. Her refusal to give up her bus seat was not an accident, my guys, was not an accident at all, but a deliberate act of resistance. All right. Her courage sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, which launched the modern civil rights movement and helped elevate Dr. King as a national leader. She had a great part in that. She played a magnificent role. She's very important. So they work hand in hand, Rosa and and Martin. They work hand in hand. Okay. So
Absolutely.
can you just imagine being her? Can you imagine what the tones were like, what the stares were like, what the voices were like, and just imagine her having to sit there and listen and to hear these things,
Mm-hmm.
but also for her to understand the movement that was made. I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
God, that had to have been breathtaking. That had to be refreshing. That had to have been rewarding to just know what she stood for, what
Right.
she was doing, what she started.
Right. Right.
You know.
Amen. Absolutely. And just knowing that
Mm,
she was a big part of that. And then one of
yes.
my favorites is
Mm.
Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass. And I have studied this man, and this is the book that he wrote himself.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
small, it's an easy read, honey. It's
Okay.
100 pages. And
Okay.
it's got illustrations in it for the kiddies and other people.
Oh,
But yeah, it's written by Frederick Douglass. And
that's
so,
good.
but this is one of my favorites. And so he's one of my favorites. He escaped slavery and he became one of the greatest orators and writers in American history, y'all.
Mhm,
Frederick,
mhm.
and back in that time, y'all, come on now. Like, what? Frederick Douglass, in my opinion, and this is when people were still being enslaved, and
Mhm,
he was
mhm,
able to
mhm,
escape. He, in my opinion, he is such a courageous man who
mhm,
dared to challenge the status quo and to
mhm.
change the conditions for Black people in
Right,
America. So,
right.
when you think about that, you think about, okay, so I'm tired of being in slavery.
Yeah,
And they're still enslaving us. I'm enslaved at that point.
girl.
But I
Right.
said, I'm tired of this mess, this status
Mhm,
quo. I'm fixing to
mhm,
change these positions so that everybody, the conditions, so everybody who's Black and American
mhm,
can benefit.
mhm.
That's courageous, y'all.
It is. It really is.
So
That's the nerves. I take the nerves.
I know.
Guts. Mhm.
And he advised US presidents. At that point, they were listening to him because they thought he was educated. If he wrote a book back then, y'all, he was because
They felt like, uh-huh.
and the reason Frederick Douglass, because I haven't studied this man, the
Mhm,
reason he was able to write and speak so well so that presidents would listen to him
mhm,
was because a white woman who befriended him when he was a child, a slave coming up,
mhm.
decided to take a chance. And this was really against what they were supposed to be doing
What they were
and
doing.
teach him
Mhm,
to read and write.
mhm.
And so, therefore, he became educated. Anywho,
And see, and that
so
was bold of her to do so.
yes,
She
it
saw
was.
something
It
in
was
him to do that. Yeah.
taking a
Uh-huh.
risk because she could have been
Mhm.
arrested. It was
Exactly.
against the law to
Mhm,
teach a Black person to read or write. And
mhm,
so the presidents, we used to get advice from him at that point. And then
mhm,
he published abolitionist newspapers at that point, and he used his voice to fight slavery, racism, injustice across America and the entire world.
mm,
I just
mm.
have to be quiet after that, Frederick.
I know. I'm just like, okay, Frederick, you did a thing.
Yes.
You did a thing, a big thing at that. Exactly. Now, let's see. So Sojourner Truth. Now, Sojourner Truth was born enslaved as well. She became a traveling preacher, abolitionist, and women's rights leader. Her famous "Ain't I a Woman?" I love it. That just seems like that's just so.
Mhm.
Ain't I a woman? Speech challenged both racism and sexism and helped shape early equality movements. Ain't I a woman? I think I want to go get me a shirt and put that on there. Ain't I
I
a woman?
know, ain't I a
That
woman?
speaks so much volume. it came from her inside. It came from her soul for that
Mm-hmm.
speech. Ain't I
Mm-hmm.
a woman?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Man, come on, Sojourner. Come
I
on.
know that's right. And
I
then
love it.
speaking of women, my absolute favorite is Miss Ida B. Wells.
Mhm.
Ida B. Wells.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes.
Now her book is thicker, but it's
Mm.
amazing.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
No, but yes,
Mm.
Miss Ida B. Wells. So Ida B. Wells, listen, y'all, back in this time, was an investigative journalist. And
Mm.
what she was just put out by was all of these lynchings that was going on. So
Jesus.
she courageously decided to expose the lynching racial terror and injustice in America in writing.
Wow.
Talk
Wow.
about courage, y'all. I mean,
That's
these people were way ahead of their time, Val.
oh my God. That took tons and tons of
Of
courage
courage.
just to let us know
Yeah,
what's going on so they can be called
exactly.
out.
And yes, and despite the threats on her life, she was getting
Mhm.
threats on her life, honey. She continued publishing the truth, and then she became a founding member in 1909. Now, it took a
Mhm.
minute. I learned
Mhm.
all that in this good old book, honey. But
See,
it
I
took
think
a
I'm gonna get that book.
minute before they put her in there. But she became a member of the NAACP, one
Oh,
of the founding members. Mhm.
oh my goodness. So I now want to get that book. I'm gonna
Yes,
give it to
yes.
her. Yeah.
Oh, I.B.
Yeah.
Wells is the girl. And this, let me bring it up here. That's her as a
Mm.
young woman, and
Wow.
look at her as an older woman.
Oh my gosh, she still look the same
The
though.
same, just with the
Still
gray
look
hair.
the same. Yeah, just uh-huh. Okay.
Gone, Ida B. Your face
All
ain't
right.
changed, girl, because it
And you
don't
can see that
crack.
you can see that poise and just like, oh, hmm.
Yeah, I love Ida B.
I'm loving her. Okay, Thurgood Marshall, y'all. He was a civil rights lawyer who argued and won the landmark Brown versus Board of Education case. Man, somebody sticking up for education,
Mhm.
which ended legal segregation in public schools. He then later became the first Black U.S. Supreme Court justice, shaping American law for decades. Thurgood Marshall put his seal on that. Thurgood Marshall was the one to begin all that for education. All right.
Mhm.
As the Supreme Court justice, man, when I tell you, we had some people that really stood up for us. We had some people that really went to bat for us and stood in the gap for us, seriously and
Mhm.
really. We have
Absolutely.
them now, but back then, just can't, just,
No comparison. No comparison.
absolutely not. Look, giving
Yeah.
me a hot flash. Giving
Yeah,
me
I
a hot.
know that's right. I know that's right. So,
Mm,
um, with
mm,
the education, now that when we're talking about Brown v. Brown
mm,
versus Board of Education,
uh-huh.
um, I hear a lot of arguments about that. Not arguments like bad, argue, but just debates rather. A lot of people now are saying, well, not a lot of people, some people are saying, we never should have been integrated, and that Black people would
Heard
have
that.
been better off with their own schools.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I've heard good points and bad points made about that,
Right.
because a lot of that what has been taught, um, even I can go back in my history books and history
Hmm.
class from elementary school and
Hmm.
look at the pictures of things. Remember the picture of the Boston Tea Party and all that kind of stuff?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so, and we never even knew really what that was about.
What that was
It was
about.
about taxation and representation,
Hmm.
about no
Yep.
tea. And
Hmm.
some of us went away thinking it was about tea, and so we
Oh,
didn't learn the stuff that we needed to learn.
the
And we
significance.
didn't learn any real Black history.
You're right.
So yeah, so all maybe we saw some pictures of
Hmm.
people in as slaves in a cotton field in the history
Hmm.
books and stuff like that. So we didn't learn our history the
You're
way
right.
we should have. But anyway, so
What
I
was
digress.
presented, yeah, what
Yeah.
was presented is what we thought and what we felt and what we
Yes.
knew. So they
Yes.
didn't really paint the right picture. I'm going to say it that way.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay, coming to Shirley Chisholm, and that's
Hmm.
getting back on the females, honey. The ladies, the historical ladies. So she was the first Black woman who was elected to the U.S. Congress, y'all. And she was the first Black woman to run for president of a major political party for the United States.
Mm.
So
Mm.
she was so fearless, y'all. She had so much confidence about herself.
Yes.
Um, she was such an advocate for women, children, education, and just marginalized communities overall. So, for all who desire to get more in depth information about her, there's a
Mhm.
great
Mhm.
biographical drama starring Regina King on Netflix. If you
Mhm.
guys haven't seen it, watch
Mhm.
it. It'll give you a sense of who she was.
Yeah, it was really good. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Miss
I like that one.
Shirley Chisholm.
Girl. Now let me talk about Nelson Mandela. When I say that name, I can see the movie. I remember seeing the movie. Y'all remember seeing that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Soweto? It was in Soweto. Um, I can hear the song. I can see the young lady singing. I can hear all of it. I can see them going to visit him. But Nelson Mandela, now this word, y'all, empathy. Now I sometimes mess it up. Y'all know I mess up my words. But Nelson Mandela is an anti-empathy revolutionary who spent 27 years in prison. He spent 27 years in prison, guys, for fighting for racial oppression in South Africa. He later became the country's first Black president and led a peaceful transition toward democracy and national unity. He spent 27 years in prison. Can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine.
And his faith never wavered.
No,
He never doubted why he was there. Never, he knew exactly why he was there
it's
because he believed
purpose.
in the
Yeah.
reason and the purpose. He believed in it.
Mm,
Man,
mm, mm, mm,
that
mm,
took now everyone that we've been talking about,
mm,
they had, oh man, they had gall.
I
They had,
know.
oh, I can't even,
Mm-mm.
I just
I
can't.
know we really can't. It's too much. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than them.
Woo!
And these leaders and their contributions, you guys, they're
Mm,
reflective. They're
mhm,
inspiring for us,
mhm,
and they're
mhm,
timeless. We're still
mhm.
in awe at this point, and look at when it happened. These leaders were definitely not perfect people, but they were courageous people. Yeah.
Courageous, who
So
believe.
they didn't wait for anyone's permission
Mhm, mhm,
to change the
mhm,
world. What they
mhm.
did was they answered the call, and it was a call that was bigger than themselves.
That's right.
And their lives today still remind us that
Mm,
freedom is fought for. It's not
yes.
gifted to us,
Mhm,
it's
mhm.
fought for. So
True.
we have to fight. The justice requires action, not comfort. So we
Mhm,
got to do some
mhm,
calls to action,
mhm, mhm.
and not be comfortable. This progress, it's going to demand sacrifice from us.
Mhm.
The word that I couldn't figure out a minute ago with the
Yeah.
is going to demand some sacrifice and not
Yes.
silence. So we can't be silent, y'all. This is not a time for
Mhm,
silence. We got to
mhm,
sacrifice, and we've got to make some changes and make them
mhm,
happen just like they
mhm.
did. They turned the pain into purpose. They turned oppression into organization. And then they turned fear into faith. Y'all, we have a
Mhm,
mighty, mighty,
mm,
mighty rich history.
mhm, mhm,
Please, this is your call to action. Everybody,
mm, mm.
spread the word,
Yes, yes,
suggest some books, and
yes.
teach your circle about these things. And if you need to do the replay on this just to get any of these little tips, please
Mhm.
do. We need the subscriptions and the likes anyway. Yeah. Don't forget
Yes.
to like,
Come on,
subscribe,
come
and
on, come on,
share.
come on.
But
Mhm.
yeah, so do that.
Mm.
Suggest some books, teach your circle.
Mm.
all of their legacies, all these people that we talked about, they're
Right.
not just history. Their legacies are
Yes.
a responsibility
Mhm.
for us.
Mhm.
They're not
Mm.
just a memory. They are a movement for us.
Right. Right.
This is not them just inspiring and being inspirational, although it is very inspiring. Y'all, it's our instructions. They have left us instructions for, look, it's almost like they could be saying right now, look, we told y'all this, this may happen again, and you have to fight for these very same things. We gave you instructions on who did the what and how
Mhm.
to do it. So
Mhm.
now it's y'all who are carrying the torch. It's in our hands. And
That's right.
everyone needs to know at this time
Mhm.
in our history, we can't just look away. We can just look at what needs to be done and get to our calls to action.
Oh my God, that's so true.
We really and when we study if you study
Mhm.
history, I do. I love history,
Mhm.
and if you study it, all empires will fall.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we are currently in the making, and think about this, y'all. We, you and I,
Mhm.
are currently in the making of our future generations'
Yes.
history.
Mhm.
So this is where we are right now. This is where they're going to be looking back and saying, so what did Val and Cynthia do at that point? Or did they do anything? You
Right.
know? So
Right.
yeah, this is where we are, Val.
How did we make a difference? Was our voice
Yes.
really heard? We talked about that a couple of shows ago. We have a voice. Make sure your voice is heard.
Yeah,
As the young people say, stand on business, stand on what you believe in. Help
absolutely.
these legacy individuals keep it going. They're trying to take it away from us. They're trying to dull our faith. They're trying to make our faith turn into fear,
Mhm.
but we know differently. Our fear turns into faith.
Right. Yes.
So
And we got to do it. We got
we
to be
got
able to
we got to.
learn and pass this on to our children. So how just think about how we want our name to be remembered,
Mhm,
how
mhm,
we're creating our dash on our headstone.
mhm,
You
mhm,
know, the day we're
mhm,
born, dash, the day you die. What did you do in the dash?
mhm,
Anything?
mhm. What's your
Did
dash?
you make a difference?
What's your dash?
Yeah, what did you contribute? Yep. So what we have to do is
Mm,
just honor all of
mm,
these figures that we just talked about, all these names,
mm,
honor them by living in their values and
mhm,
protecting their progress that they made
mhm,
by
mhm.
continuing the work they started back then. And the most important part is to continue doing that because their fight gave us our future, and
Right.
our
Mhm.
future is now our fight. So what footprint do we want to leave
Leave.
in the life
Exactly.
that we're living?
Mhm, mhm.
That's it, guys.
That's so true.
Talking about our wonderful Black history figures and
Mhm.
how they contributed to their lives, I mean, to our
Yes.
lives.
Our lives.
And yeah, and
Mhm,
how we
mhm.
now can contribute to our future's lives by creating
Exactly.
some history for them to study.
Mhm, mhm. And I tell you what, Cynthia, we have to recall what was done back then from those legacies so that we can look ahead and not back.
There
We
we
have to
go.
do that. If we don't recall what was, then we can't look ahead to keep moving forward. So
Exactly.
they set the groundwork for us. So we got to
Yes.
keep on moving. So that's my
Yes.
inspirational vitamin for today.
Look ahead, not back.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all, come on. Thank you so much for stopping by. And we've had a great conversation. And
Mm,
we hopefully have informed some people
mm,
of some individuals who were in our history that have
mm.
made sacrifices and
Yes.
created the conditions that
Hmm.
we are currently living in. And we want
Right.
to keep those conditions, and we want to make sure everyone has opportunities for education and
Yes.
buying homes and going
Yes.
where they
Yes.
want to go and staying in the country and all that good stuff.
Mm,
So yeah,
mm, mm.
let's all do our part, but let's what each one teach one, Val.
Each one teach one. Reach back
Yep.
and extend the olive branch.
I know exactly. Thanks so much for stopping by today, guys. Have an amazing day. And please don't forget
Yes,
to like, subscribe, and share. And then teach your circle. Just teach your circle.
exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
guys. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Mm.